Hi, Chris Sorensen, founder of Help. Now, I want to go over how we got here, where we are, and where we're going together. Now, this is going to sound a little bit complicated, but really if you pay careful attention, it is not overly complicated. I believe that you'll be able to understand what I'm about to share with you, and I'm going to warn you right now, it's probably going to make you mad. So pay careful attention, because you and I have been set up in a big way. I'm going to go all the way back, and I'm going to make this very brief, but I'm going to go all the way back to 1920. You see, from the 1800s, actually, we had what was called the railroad trust companies. And in 1920, we had what was called a depression. Not by the 1929 version, but we had a small depression. And then, with the government's help, we created the Roaring Twenties. It was a bubble, not like we have now, but it was a bubble in fact. In 1929, the stock market crashed that we all learned about in high school. What you may not know is that the stock market came back pretty quickly. It wasn't until 1933 that we actually had an 85% drop in the stock market and 3 years in a row of 25% unemployment. We swore at that point in time as a country that never again would we allow that much consolidation of power under so few roofs. Now, am I oversimplifying this? A little, but stay with me here. It's not too simplified. What we did, one of the things we did, I should say, was we created an act called the Glass-Steagall Act. And that was set up to make sure that we did not have that much consolidation of power. Now let's fast forward all the way to 1998. Things were going along just well. In fact, in California, we had a Building Industry Association slogan. It was called "Stay Alive Through 95, Things Will Be Great in 98." And they were. Things were on their way. Well, what happened was, under President Bill Clinton, we signed the repeal, if you will, of the Glass-Steagall Act. It was authored and carried by Senator Phil Gramm, a Republican. It was a bipartisan bill, but in essence it said, all right, go ahead financial firms, go ahead investment bankers, go ahead insurance companies, consolidate once again. Is it any wonder that we found ourselves in the trouble that we are today? Through that consolidation, what occurred was the following. We found that through AIG's derivative insurance, we created investment vehicles, securitization, if you will, of mortgage instruments. What's that? It's your home loan. If you take all of your home loans collectively together in a pool, a large pool of loans, that's a securitized instrument. We call that a debt. Just so you know, for those of you that are following along, debt is a bond, or bond is debt actually, and stock is equity. So stick with me here and watch what happened to all of us. They created a tranche. Now, a lot of you are watching in California and you're saying, what is a tranche and why does this affect me? Watch what occurred. Imagine, if you will, if you're watching this video, a chest of drawers 3 drawers deep. All of your mortgage payments are creating cash flow, and as that cash flow is coming in, it goes into the top drawer. Then that top drawer fills up and spills into the second drawer. After that drawer fills up, it spills into the third drawer. And respectively, the first drawer has the least amount of risk, second drawer the second amount, and the third the most. And so they paid a higher yield or a higher interest rate as you went down the line. Along with insurance from AIG, and along with ratings from Moody's, Standard & Poor's, and Fitch, we created AAA rated debt. And that meant CalPERS, your individual city, the state, could invest in this debt. Well, what happened was the following, and this is very, very crucial to you because this brings it right down to you who got furloughed or laid off. When August of 2007 rolled around, and it turned out that the rating agencies had made a mistake, that these tranches, these investment vehicles, these securitizations weren't making money and they were actually starting to falter, everybody had to sell. In fact, CalPERS, one of the nation's largest pension funds, if not the largest, they started having to pull out because it was downgraded. They downgraded the rating and they started selling. Folks, we all know from grade school, all sellers, no buyers means a lower price. And as they sold and the values were dropping down dramatically, they lost billions upon billions of dollars. So how does this affect you? Here's how. The cities and the state and others had to backfill in some of those losses, including your local agency where you live. That meant they had to furlough, they had to lay off, and they had to cut back overtime for those people, quite frankly, that are currently employed to take care of the pensions that were lost. Pension dollars that were lost, I should say. Well, what that means is those people, quite frankly, can no longer make their payments. Did they do anything wrong? No, they were victims of circumstances beyond their ability and control. And that's what caused the problem to become exacerbated. So where are we now? Well, here's what you need to understand. It wasn't just your $100,000 mortgage in San Bernardino that caused the problems not being paid on time. It's the 30 to 40 leveraging of that money, meaning the $3 to $4 million invested in that loan's future earnings, that has caused the problems. Now look, that may sound complicated, and I know I spoke quickly and glossed over this, but if all you get out of this particular short video is the following: that you didn't create this particular problem, that for those of you that took money out and used your house as an ATM, sure, you may have some guilt and you may have some blood in your hands. But if you're like many of the people that I'm talking to today, the prime borrowers who put 10, 20% down and had no idea that this was coming, I don't want you to consider your situation as a moral hazard. You know, I know I'm not going to win any friends here at the Mortgage Bankers Association, but when Mr. Corson said on TV that he asked the question, what type of a lesson are you teaching your children by not making your mortgage payment on time? Well, personally, I was a little bit offended, because unless and until you've sat down like I have and cried with grown men who have defined themselves by how they provide for their families, and you understand that women need strength and stability, and they don't have either right now in many cases, then I don't think you should be judging people quite so harshly. This was a very complicated situation, and there are many people that had no idea this was coming. And for those of you that are in trouble, we're here to assist you. And so, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to know is the HELP program is not only the consumer's advocate, but we're the professionals as well. Our job is to bridge the gap and marry the two of you up together, because quite frankly, we know that both of you need each other, and our job is to hold not only the public accountable, but also the professionals. Thank you for watching, and good luck. We've got a long ways to go to cure this problem, but together we'll get through it.